Hi everybody, Mark Hanna here, as usual, coming to you unscripted, unapologetic, psychologically immune from social media control, getting back into some videos after about a year off. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to start with Axis Empires. Some new rules have been gargled up, finally. Some ASL rule changes, unexpected actually. And we're going to get into some PC games and more. So sit back, I hope you enjoy. Comment, like, subscribe, you know the drill. Thanks for watching. I'm getting back into the action. I took a year off here, basically not doing videos. I got involved in some projects that were just wasting my time, and I got burned out on it. And I was wasting my time with people that I don't like to waste my time with. People who are kiss asses, people who are not communicative. I don't do well with people like that, and I don't want to hang out with them. Um, and I'm not anymore. But I moved on, and I've got other projects going, but I do want to bring back my gaming stuff, so at least a video once a week. So we're going to play some campaign series. Okay, this is excellent. This is an old John Tiller game, East, West, and Rising Sun. Chat GPT, what's this? Why do I have this here? Oh, that's just a picture of me. I use the Chat GPT to make a thing about myself. Let's see. Yep, we're going to do some Hex of Steel. We're going to play this online. Looks like I launched the game. Let's unlaunch that. Yeah, here we go. Hex of Steel. People like me to do this one. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hopefully you can. I don't see myself anymore. But there's a lot of cool games on here. The only problem with these games is the campaigns are hugely long. Okay, here's the Germany campaign. Eastern Front, Western Front. Let's look at the Eastern Front. Look, there's a whole year. You're fighting the entire year on the Eastern Front. I mean, it's insane. The scope of it is. So I don't know. I think that puts some people off. Anyway, we're going to get out of this, head back, and quit. Okay, so we'll do some of that. There's some other games that we're going to do. So that I'll do here. So back on track. So what are my projects? Rules translations. Here, finally, Axis Empires. They've come out with these experimental rules. Took them forever to get this done. And I thought it was really the designer, but it was actually, I think, his sous-compagnon who was doing the commerce rating rules. They made them quite complex. Look at that. You know, you got a huge new set of rules for commerce rating in Axis Empires. So if you're familiar with that game, the commerce rating, even the base rating were kind of broken. The base rating is not as broken as the other one is, though. So that'll be worth looking into. ASL, what's going on over at Avalon? Sorry, MMP. They're actually changing some rules. It's unheard of. This is something that has been passed around on the internet about impending journal rules changes. And you're going to see there's some interesting here changes. This first one you can see, target selection limits now only apply to the same location, not the same hex. So that means there's no freeze sleaze of a level 2 unit with CE half tracks, which is something that I've pulled off on a couple of occasions to the dismay of my opponent, and I really don't like having to do it, but I just was showing him that, really. It's something that they did fix this. The VBM rules are actually fixed in the module for Sedan, actually, with a special rule for that particular module, Rommel Across the Muse, I forget what the name of it is. But that's... they've changed the VBM vulnerability, so they're trying to make it a little harder to do this stupid VBM freeze technique. They should actually just fix it. It was never a tactic that was used except probably perhaps in sheer desperation. Uh, they did not enter vehicles ahead of the infantry to freeze the existing infantry from firing. It just was not done. You never risked your vehicles if you could avoid it without some kind of infantry support anywhere near buildings. But in this game, oh, tanks are coming. They didn't fix it, but they improved the survivability of it. And I might criticize this, but of course, ASL is the absolute best game ever at making that Saving Private Ryan feel when you're playing the game. There's no question about it. Even so, this VBM sleaze. If they're going to use that, they should actually allow the ironing. You keep reading about the ironing of the foxholes that was done in the Battle of the Bulge. The Panzer Corps guys coming up and going back and forth over the foxholes to presumably, I don't know if it's not funny. I guess they did it, but there's no rule for ironing the foxholes, so there should be. If they're going to try to do any other goofy things with this. But anyway, you don't have to roll. You don't have to automatically lose concealment for VBM. That never made any sense. Let's see. Can't use road bonus to search. Okay, I didn't know that people were doing that. But I guess it was there. Assault moving in and out of foxholes can combine the entry cost. Now, this is a two-edged sword. Foxholes were always a pain because you would set up in them, and then if you ever wanted to move in and out of them, you had to take a pot shot in and out. So if you were in woods or open ground or something, it was not the best cover. Now they've made it easier to skulk in and out of foxholes. I'm not a big fan of skulking either, guys. You know that. This was not something that was done. Let me slither out of the foxhole like a shadow, hide for a little while, then slither back in after having a cigarette. Is not improving the game substantially. It is improving how foxholes work. It's not improving the game. Let's see. Units in different hexes are treated as adjacent. Yeah, I think there was some problems with the understanding of all that there. When changing covered arc in a wire hex, you still get a +2. Okay. There's always been a question about these DRMs for bomb checks. The rules aren't sometimes 100% uniform. It might say plus DRM for changing or entering. Others just say for entering. I think the wire one was just for entering. Let's see. This next rule, CE changes. I guess there was a gimmick there where you could go in, and I've had another player do this to me too, who this kind of trick. I hate it when these guys find these things, and then, well, it's in the rules, so what's your problem with it? It's like, because it's stupid, because it doesn't make sense. So what what people were doing is popping up CE after saying, you didn't decide to do a defensive fire, so now I can advancing fire or bounding fire. So you don't get away with that little sleaze move anymore. Let's see. Target size does not apply if the target's out of LOS. That's really only for mortars. They've changed the FTK attempts versus vehicles, so it's harder to nail them with a flamethrower than they were before. Especially the vehicle flamethrowers, you could just run around with those and torch all the enemy tanks. CMG on an NT vehicle is treated as an NT weapon. Okay. And then it says see Journal 16 for precise errata, but Journal 16 isn't even published yet, so something happened to their publication schedule there. Must have had something to do with the tariffs or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that's going to be a topic, or I don't know if there's much more to talk about there on that. It's quite a low-cut bodice here. I don't know if that would actually be effective for what it claims to be doing there. Okay. Don't have much more to say about this. Let's end the video here. Thanks for subscribing. If you have, I've got some new subscribers. Those of you who are new that have signed up during the last year, there's been a number of them. I must have done something that you liked. Tell me what it is. All right, so that's it. Cheerio. See you next time.